He brought you downtown. You were passed out. So he was heading to Portland, so I asked him for a ride. For some reason, I'm forgetting a German guy.
Hollywood is no stranger to tragic stories, but some losses shake the industry to its core. She started screaming at the man who was out there with him, asking him what happened, and the guy actually turned to her and basically told her to back off, saying, "You're spoiling his vibe." One such devastating night was October 31, 1993. According to Samantha, she said that on the ground, on the sidewalk on Sunset Boulevard, he took his last breath when rising star River Phoenix collapsed outside the Viper Room, the club partly owned by Johnny Depp. His shocking death left a void in Hollywood, and for decades, Depp has remained mostly silent about the heartbreaking event. Now, at 61 years old, Americans have been misrepresented horribly throughout the history of cinema and television, so Depp thought it was a great opportunity to flip that cliché on its head. Johnny Depp is finally breaking his silence. What happened that night, and why is he speaking out now? Join us as we unravel the shocking revelation by Johnny Depp about River Phoenix's tragic death. The unforgettable night at the Viper Room on October 30, 1993, was buzzing with the usual energy. Known as one of the favorite hangouts for artists, the club was often the venue for impromptu musical performances. Depp and his friends, "I would have handled it differently. I think I overreacted that night." River Phoenix, the talented young actor, entered the club with his brother, Joaquin, referred to as Hen in the original, his sister Rain, and his girlfriend Samantha Mathis, hoping to relax after a few stressful days. River seemed tired as he stepped into the club. River Phoenix, because he was so much more to a lot of people, though always known for his calm and positive demeanor, for the first time, the actress he was dating at the time of his tragic death, Samantha Mathis, is speaking out. Samantha later recalled that he appeared to carry an invisible weight on his shoulders. His exhaustion was palpable, likely from the pressures of both his personal life and his growing fame. Despite his internal struggles, River kept his usual smile, trying to keep his loved ones from worrying. While the club had a lively atmosphere, something was unsettling in the air, a sense of danger that Samantha could feel but not explain. As the night wore on, things quickly took a tragic turn. In the early hours of October 31, River suddenly left the club, claiming he wasn't feeling well. His family and friends, sensing that something was wrong, couldn't stop him. Moments later, River collapsed outside the club, shocking Joaquin and Rain. Joaquin, just 19 years old at the time, called 911, his voice shaking with panic as he described his brother's condition. Bystanders and patrons of the club gathered around as River struggled to breathe. Despite desperate attempts to revive him, nothing could save him. By the time paramedics arrived, River was unconscious, and he was rushed to the hospital, where he was declared dead just hours later. The coroner's report revealed that River had died from acute drug intoxication, a lethal combination of heroin and cocaine. This tragic news struck not only his family but also his legions of fans. In the aftermath of the tragedy, the Viper Room fell silent. Johnny Depp, who co-owned the club, shut it down for several days, and from then on, no events were held at the club on October 31 in honor of River's memory. Depp, known for his free-spirited nature, remained quiet about that night for years, not out of avoidance, but out of respect for the immense grief felt by the Phoenix family. Samantha later admitted that she hadn't seen River use drugs that night, but she wasn't sure what had happened before they arrived at the club. The image of Joaquin, frantic and helpless as he tried to save his brother, remains etched in the minds of all who were there that night. It was a moment of profound sorrow, not just for the Phoenix family, but for all of Hollywood. For Joaquin, it was a turning point. It motivated him to pursue acting, in part to continue River's legacy. Though many years have passed, River Phoenix's memory lives on, not just as a brilliant actor, but as a symbol of the fragility that lurks beneath Hollywood's glossy exterior. His story serves as a reminder that fame, while dazzling, can come with a dark side, one that can consume those who aren't prepared for its weight. He had gone into the bathroom, and when he came out, Samantha saw him being sort of thrown out of the club by a bouncer. At the time, she thought he'd actually gotten into a fight. It wasn't until she got outside that she saw him on the ground, convulsing. River's death shocked the entertainment world and forced Hollywood to confront uncomfortable truths. The news spread like wildfire, leaving everyone in shock. Friends and colleagues such as Keanu Reeves, who starred with River in My Own Private Idaho, and Leonardo DiCaprio, who was just beginning his career, were devastated by the loss. Even veteran actors like Harrison Ford, who had worked with River in Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade, expressed their sorrow. River's death was a stark reminder of the dangers that accompany fame, and it spurred Hollywood to reflect on its unhealthy environment rife with pressures, substance abuse, and parties. As a result, there was a push for better psychological support and health protection for young actors. But despite these changes, many felt that the entertainment industry hadn't truly addressed the root of the problem. The pressure of fame remained heavy, and Hollywood's dark corners were still largely ignored. Rivers' passing left a void in the independent film scene. He had been a pioneer in bringing this genre to a broader audience. I don't know. I don't feel like I can be. His performance in My Own Private Idaho wasn't just an artistic achievement, it was proof of his ability to turn small personal stories into extraordinary cinematic experiences. Directors like Gus Van Sant mourned the loss of not only a talented actor but also the countless unfinished artistic works River could have brought to life. For Joaquin Phoenix, the loss of his brother left deep emotional scars. It took years for him to recover, but Rivers' death became the driving force behind his career. Every success he achieved was a way to honor his brother's memory. Joaquin has often said that Rivers' passion for acting inspired him to pursue the craft. The entertainment magazines in our house, River was a really substantial actor and movie star, and we didn't really know it. He carries his brother's legacy with every role he takes. Beyond Hollywood, Rivers' death caused the public to rethink the pressures faced by young stars. There are helicopters flying over, there are people trying to sneak onto your land. Certainly for me, it felt like it impeded on the mourning process. They were no longer seen as untouchable icons but as human beings struggling with pressures few could understand. The media, which had often exploited the personal lives of celebrities, faced criticism for contributing to the invisible pressures they faced. Rivers' tragic passing opened eyes to the human cost of fame. More than 3 decades later, River Phoenix is remembered for his extraordinary talent, his compassionate nature, and the ideals he stood for. His legacy continues to inspire new generations both through his work on screen and the life he led off-screen. His death wasn't just the end of a promising career, it was a painful lesson for Hollywood and the public about the true price of fame and the importance of empathy and support for those caught in its spotlight. Years later, Depp still carries the weight of that loss. How did River, a young man with such a clean image and strong ideals, fall into the trap of drugs? Was it the overwhelming pressure of fame that led him down this path? Or was it something deeper that he had been struggling with in private? Let's find out. Johnny Depp's shocking revelation. After years of silence, Johnny Depp has finally opened up about the tragedy that led to River Phoenix's death. In a recent interview, Depp began by paying tribute to River's extraordinary talent and remarkable character. He spoke about River as someone who exuded light and warmth both on screen and in his personal life. Depp described him as the kind of person you would meet and instantly feel something unique about, an aura of kindness, intelligence, and depth that was rare for someone so young. When discussing that fateful night at the Viper Room, Depp admitted that he still feels immense sadness whenever he reflects on it. He explained that River wasn't just a close friend to him, he saw him as a younger brother in the entertainment world. No one, Depp said, could have predicted the tragic turn of events that night. What was supposed to be a simple evening where friends gathered to relax and enjoy music ended in an unimaginable loss. Depp vividly recalled the moment he saw River lying on the sidewalk and the feeling of helplessness that overcame him. All I could think about was how I wished I could turn back time and do anything, to prevent what happened, Depp shared. It was a memory that still haunts him to this day. Depp also voiced his disillusionment with how Hollywood treated young talent during that era. He criticized the entertainment industry for its glamour and excess, which often overshadowed the emotional and mental well-being of young artists. River, he said, was a deeply sensitive individual who was thrust into a world that wasn't always supportive or nurturing. The pressures and expectations placed on him were overwhelming, and the environment was far from healthy. Depp lamented that even then, Hollywood lacked the necessary support systems to care for those who needed it most, something that sadly still seems to be the case today. Johnny Depp explained his decision to remain quiet for so many years about River Phoenix's death. He said the loss was incredibly painful, especially for River's family, and he didn't want to cause further distress. Speaking out too soon, Depp felt, could have only drawn unnecessary attention to a personal tragedy. I didn't want my words to become headlines or be twisted into something sensational, Depp shared. It was a private sorrow, and I wanted to respect River and his family during such an intimate time. Now, with time having passed, Depp believes it's important to revisit the story not only to honor River's memory but also to learn from the tragedy. River's death wasn't just a devastating blow to his loved ones but to the world at large, Depp reflected. He believes that River Phoenix was a symbol of true authenticity, someone who poured his heart into his craft and stood by the values he deeply believed in. If there's one thing I want people to remember about River, it's that he wasn't just a remarkable actor, Depp continued. He was a kind and sincere person, someone who genuinely wanted to make the world a better place. It's a tragedy that we never got to see the full extent of what he could have achieved. River Phoenix's untimely death at just 23 years old left a lasting impact on the world of cinema and beyond. Known for his roles in films like Stand By Me and My Own Private Idaho, River had a reputation for his depth and authenticity as an actor. Hello, I'm River Phoenix, and if you care about animals, here's some good news. People for the ethical treatment of animals can show you easy ways to help out. It's up to us to take care of all our friends. For a free brochure, thank you. He was also a passionate activist who cared deeply about the environment and animal rights. His tragic overdose outside the Viper Room in 1993 shocked the world and marked the end of a promising career. At the end of his speech, Johnny Depp paused for a moment as if to honor his late friend, River Phoenix. He shared that whenever he thinks of River, it's not just sadness he feels but also a deep sense of gratitude. Depp expressed how fortunate he felt to have met and worked with someone so truly remarkable. River will always be a part of us, Depp said, embedded in our memories, in Hollywood's history, and forever in his heart. Depp's words weren't only a reflection on that tragic night, they also served as a powerful reminder of the importance of supporting and protecting young talent in an industry as tough as Hollywood. Though River's life was tragically cut short, his legacy continues. His unforgettable performances still resonate today, inspiring countless actors and filmmakers. While Joaquin Phoenix, River's brother, often speaks about the lasting impact his sibling had on his career, fans across the world remember River not only for his remarkable talent but also for his genuine kindness and sincere nature. As Johnny Depp recalls that fateful night, we are reminded of the fragility of life and how vital it is to cherish every moment we have. River Phoenix may no longer be with us, but his spirit lives on in his films, in the hearts of those who loved him, and in the important lessons his life imparts about fame, the pressures of the industry, and the importance of staying true to oneself. So when did River Phoenix's journey begin? Let's take a closer look. River Jude Phoenix was born on August 23, 1970, in Madras, Oregon, into a family that embraced an unconventional way of life. His parents, John and Arlene Phoenix, were free-spirited wanderers who sought a simple existence, often moving between states and even different countries. They believed in living close to nature and rejecting mainstream societal norms. However, their search for an alternative lifestyle led them to become involved with the controversial religious group, the Children of God. River's early years were anything but stable. His family faced frequent financial struggles, and the pressures of their nomadic existence took an emotional toll. As the oldest of 5 siblings, River often felt the weight of responsibility, experiencing hardships that shaped his deep sense of empathy and emotional depth. Despite these challenges, River displayed remarkable artistic talent from an early age. Alongside his siblings, he performed music and skits on the streets to help support the family. These street performances were more than just a means of survival, they became a formative experience, teaching River how to captivate an audience with authenticity and passion. His natural ability to connect with people through performance became a defining trait that would later set him apart as an actor. Eventually, the Phoenix family settled in Los Angeles, where River's extraordinary talents would soon catch the attention of Hollywood, setting him on a path to stardom. In 1979, River Phoenix's life changed forever when a talent management company recognized his extraordinary abilities. Unlike most child actors, he had a natural gift for expressing deep emotions, making him stand out. His striking looks and ability to convey raw, genuine feelings on screen quickly drew attention. After a series of small roles, River's big break came in 1986 with Stand By Me, a coming-of-age film that turned him into a star. He played Chris Chambers, a troubled yet deeply compassionate boy, a role that felt almost like an extension of himself. With his soulful eyes and heartfelt performance, River didn't just act, he became the character. The film was a massive success, and critics praised his portrayal, calling it both powerful and unforgettable. At just 16 years old, River had already proved he was more than just another young actor, he was a true performer with remarkable depth. Determined to challenge himself, he chose roles that pushed artistic boundaries. In Running on Empty, 1988, he played a young man torn between loyalty to his fugitive parents and his dreams, a performance so moving that it earned him an Academy Award nomination. Then came My Own Private Idaho, 1991, where he delivered one of the most iconic performances of his career as a homeless, narcoleptic young man searching for love and identity. The role solidified his reputation as one of Hollywood's most gifted and fearless actors. Unlike many rising stars who got caught up in the superficial side of Hollywood, River remained deeply committed to meaningful storytelling. He wasn't interested in fame for the sake of it, he wanted to make films that mattered, that touched people's lives. His career was a testament to his artistic integrity and his rare ability to bring truth to every character he played. River Phoenix carefully chose his acting roles based on the values he deeply believed in. He didn't just want to be a movie star, he wanted to be an artist whose work had purpose. But acting was only one part of his creative passion. Music was just as important to him. He was the lead singer and songwriter for Aleka's Attic, a band he co-founded with his sister Rain Phoenix. This wasn't just a side project, it was an extension of his beliefs. Through music, River expressed his concerns about the environment, animal rights, and humanitarian causes. His lyrics carried messages about protecting the planet and standing up for those who couldn't speak for themselves. Before he became a household name, River experienced the struggles of performing on the streets to help support his family. But his journey from playing music for survival to starring in major Hollywood films was more than just a rise to fame, it was a testament to his unwavering dedication to authenticity, compassion, and artistry. It was a testament to his relentless pursuit of truth and integrity. He wasn't just another talented actor, he represented a rare kind of idealism in an industry often driven by commercial success. River Phoenix's life was complex, filled with depth, and marked by a sincere effort to live by the principles he believed in. He was not only an extraordinary artist but also a symbol of authenticity, using both his acting and music to make a real impact on the world. However, his path from performing music to making ends meet to landing leading roles in blockbuster Hollywood films was not without obstacles. What could have been his challenges? Let's dive deeper. The weight of fame and personal challenges was something River Phoenix carried with quiet resilience. He was a naturally gifted actor, a true star with a deep, sensitive soul who felt the weight of Hollywood's pressures and its glamorous yet isolating lifestyle. Born into a struggling family, River became the primary financial support for his household while still a teenager. His breakout role in Stand By Me transformed him from a regular boy into an international sensation. But this newfound fame, rather than bringing joy, became a heavy burden that he could not escape. Despite reaching levels of fame that many only dream of, River never actually sought the spotlight. He once shared, "I just want to act, earn money to support my family, but I don't want the fame." This admission revealed a deep internal conflict. He was an artist at heart, drawn to his craft yet caught in a world where his every move was under constant scrutiny. He wanted to explore meaningful roles, but instead, he found himself at the center of an industry obsessed with image, where comparisons to icons like James Dean became constant. The pressure to live up to these expectations was immense, and it wore him down over time. River was a perfectionist in every sense. He wasn't interested in shallow fame or commercial success, he sought out roles that held artistic value, even if they weren't guaranteed blockbusters. His refusal to accept roles that clashed with his personal beliefs isolated him in an industry where fitting in and maintaining a polished public image were essential. This sense of isolation deepened as River often felt like an outsider in Hollywood's luxurious yet superficial world. Beyond the external pressures, River struggled with his own deeply sensitive nature. He was profoundly affected by the injustices he saw in the world. A passionate advocate for environmental causes and animal rights, River spent much of his earnings supporting charities. Yet, despite his efforts, he often felt like it was never enough. His friends would recall moments when River would retreat into deep thought, consumed by the fear that he wasn't doing enough to make a meaningful difference. This overwhelming sensitivity, while it made him a genuinely empathetic and admirable person, also fueled insecurities that haunted him. To cope with the mounting pressures, River, like many others in the industry, turned to substances, hoping they might provide temporary relief from the constant weight of his inner struggles. At first, drugs were a way for River Phoenix to temporarily escape the stresses of his life, but what started as a brief relief quickly spiraled into a dangerous and uncontrollable addiction. Despite his outward appearance of strength and composure, inside he was a man who was slowly falling apart. The Hollywood parties he attended, which he hoped would bring him joy and freedom, instead became places that dragged him closer to his self-destruction. River's internal struggles were mirrored by the conflict between his ideals and the harsh, often hypocritical realities of the Hollywood world. As a committed vegan, he passionately advocated for animal rights and environmental protection. He turned down numerous lucrative advertising deals and acting contracts that conflicted with his values, choosing personal integrity over fame and fortune. But living by such strong ideals in an industry that frequently ignored them left him feeling torn between his principles and his career. River once said, "I don't want to be a symbol or represent anything. I just want to be myself." But in the world of Hollywood, where superficiality often trumps authenticity, staying true to oneself was a luxury few could afford. His struggle wasn't just internal, it was deeply spiritual. He felt trapped between two worlds, the ideal world he longed to protect and the harsh reality of the industry that demanded conformity. This constant tension made it difficult for him to find peace, leaving him in a state of constant inner conflict. Despite his relentless efforts to stay balanced, the overwhelming pressures from every side, his career, his values, and the expectations placed on him, gradually became too much to bear. Slowly, they pushed him toward the edge. River Phoenix was the embodiment of a pure yet fragile soul, someone who fought tirelessly to live by his values but was constantly ensnared by the superficial traps of the Hollywood machine. The fame that could have been his wings to soar instead became a cage, slowly draining his health and spirit until he could no longer escape its grasp. What do you think about Johnny Depp's shocking revelation about River Phoenix's tragic death? Don't forget to like and subscribe.